If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
All right. Well, welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Evan Acey. I'm going to be your MC tonight. Robert Edgar is our interviewer, and Ron Smith is at Magic Oz behind the scenes, making us all look and sound great. As always, Capo Dave Williams, our founder, is hard at work behind the scenes. So our mission is to support your local open mics. Without gimmicks and frills, this right here is the beating heart of American music, that tapestry of story and song that's been weaving us together for generations. And now let's introduce all of our performers. And I'm going to introduce Rich Stewart, also known as Homebrew Stu. He's down in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We have Waddle and Do in Grace Lake, Illinois. We have Chris Steele in Newton, Upper Falls, Massachusetts. Andy Karn down in Mountain View, California. Lawrence Campling in Sacramento, California. Sue Schnitzer from Prescott, Arizona. Rich Bassler from Bainbridge Island, Washington. And closing out the show this afternoon is going to be Bet Paget in Raleigh, North Carolina. All right. So we're just eager to get going on the Open Mic America show. And so right now, our first guest is going to be Homebrew Stu. Stu, why don't you go ahead and let us know about what local open mic you like to support and what have you got to share in song today?
Big Dog in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I got a couple of songs. One original and one heritage. Love song about a bar. The R&R was a neighborhood bar in Lancaster Avenue. 3 beers for a buck. Who gives a cluck when you're down on your luck? Outside looked like a bar, had a freewheeling feeling. But what was most appealing was the black trash bag ceiling, 'cause the roof used to leak. The owner ran a pretty tight ship and was quite a trip. Carried a gun on his hip and didn't take no lip. One time behind the bar, smoking a big fat do, he drew his gun on the old TV and blew out the picture tube over a football game. Now, one more thing to bring out, lest I leave any doubt. Rancid hot dogs per the heat light left out overnight. In a grotty Glenray cooker on a grimy rotating spit. The plug got pulled at closing time, and that's where they sit until God knows when. The R&R was a neighborhood bar on Lancaster, PA. 3 beers for a buck. Who gives a cluck when you're down and out? Roger and out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You too.
Here's a heritage song I think everybody knows. Be patient. You'll recognize. Oh, say, hey, can you see Mr. Key by the dawn's early light? A beautiful sight, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. All right, over the ramparts we watch. Yes, we did. We're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs burst in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner, that grand old flag yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave, land of the free and the home of the brave? Amen, you said it, land of the free and the home of the brave. Then don't forget it, land of the free and the home of the brave. Long may it wave.
Play ball.
Thank you. You got it.
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
Very good. Thank you.
Oh, good. So, how long you been playing there in Pennsylvania?
I was a drummer in 2 reggae bands, and I decided to give up the drums, and I became a songwriter.
Did you pick up the uke? Excuse me. After you stopped playing drums, or were you
Well,
a
I played, yeah, I played
background?
bass. I played bass for a while, and around 2000,
Yeah.
and I got tired of musicians, and then I decided to go solo, and around 2015, I
Uh-huh.
became a solo artist.
Did you have changed venues from a full band's venue to solo gigs in different places, or did you find you could do solo in the same spots?
No, I switched up.
Uh-huh.
A lot of virtual open mics.
Yeah, that's something we have now that wasn't available earlier, huh?
Yeah.
That's that. So, um, when you were playing drums, were you writing your own songs, or your group writing your own songs, or did that start more recently?
I played in a ska band in the early 80s where I was a co-writer with a keyboard player. When I joined a reggae band in 85, they already had they already had all original repertoire, so I there was no place for me that way.
Uh-huh. So this gives you
So I
a
took a
little
break.
more.
So I took a break for many years
Yeah,
from
yeah,
songwriting.
that's yeah. Did you continue to play during that time?
I was a drummer. I was a reggae drummer in the 80s, one and for another
Right.
band in the 90s. There was a bass player for. Well, I did do some writing with the string band in 2010, and then
Uh-huh.
after that band broke up, I started to do a solo thing.
Yeah. So, what where'd you reach into? Obviously, you didn't reach into your uh, reggae repertoire to fuel this. Where'd you go back to for these songs
For
for
for the
the
inspiration.
genre?
You mean for the inspiration for the
Yeah, yeah,
songwriting?
yeah.
Just life experiences. I knew a lot of crazy people in my life, and so I wrote about these people that I knew, here and
Uh-huh.
there, and that was where I get my inspiration.
Yeah, that's a good place to go to your own life, right? It's nice
Yep,
to have that.
exactly.
So where do you think you'll take it now? Keep doing the solo stuff online and such?
Yeah, yeah, and I just released my fifth album uh, a couple of months ago, so I'm going to do that. I got a radio show in Philadelphia for
Oh,
reggae
cool.
music, and I got some other things in the works as well. But I enjoy the solo songwriting thing because it's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a website people can
I don't have a
go to?
website, but I'm pretty well um, exposed on the internet. If you look under Homebrew Stew,
Uh-huh. Okay, just search for a Homebrew Stew and
yeah, all over the
find your
place.
albums. All right, very cool. Well, we'll do that. I will do that. Take care, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for playing. Yeah. See you again.
Pleasure.
What a great way to kick off this evening's show. We were looking forward to having Helene Shelfin play this afternoon, but she's got some things going on, couldn't make it in, wishes to be here for you, so we want to give her a shout out. And now our next performers are first time on the Open Mic America stage. Let's giving a rousing round of welcome to Waddle and Do in Grays Lake, Illinois. Now, they like to play at the Lake County Folk Club open stage. It's on the second Sunday of every month in Grays Lake, Illinois, and you can find that at the lakecountyfolkclub.org. Now, what have you got to share with America and around the world in song today?
Ooh, around the world.
Around the world. Wow.
We're
Cool.
going to do a couple of originals tonight. We are, by the way, the hosts of the Lake County Folk Club Open Stage.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in Lake County, Illinois, up at the top right-hand corner of the state of Illinois,
Yeah.
we would love to see you. This first song that is one that I wrote, and it's about my hometown. Not where I was born, but where I grew up.
Yeah.
Bob Sheba came home at the end of a long hot day, pitching bales of hay, cursing LBJ. His wife Joanne kissed him at the door. The sun's going down, the day is almost gone. They ate with the TV on, news from Vietnam. Walter Cronkite talking about the war. Ooh, and it's not Washington, D.C., where a man's a man and a boy's a boy. Ooh, it's just folks like you and me, growing up in Washington, Illinois. My Uncle Dave owned the meat market on the square. Best chops anywhere, head cheese if you dare, and conversation while he hands you a sample slice. Did the muffler on your brother's car ever get fixed? But don't talk of politics, the blacks and the Catholics. Don't say nothing at all if you can't be nice. Ooh, it's not Washington, D.C., where a man's a man and a boy's a boy. Ooh, it's just folks like you and me, growing up in Washington, Illinois. Played outside all day in some summer clothes. Drank water from the hose, Hank Aaron in the spokes. Went back home before Mom had to yell. The headlines said there were 50,000 dead. Had dinner and went to bed. Not a word was said. The window was open and I listened to the rain that fell. Ooh, and it's not Washington, D.C., where a man's a man and a boy's a boy. Ooh, it's just folks like you and me, growing up in Washington, Illinois. Ooh, and it's not Washington, D.C., where a man's a man and a boy's a boy. It's just folks like you and me, growing up in Washington, Illinois. Where I grew up in Washington, Illinois.
Wonderful.
Ah, very nice.
Really, really
Nice song.
great.
Yeah.
I think that's your best song, honey.
Well, thank you, dear.
This is one I wrote after going to see the Baseball Hall of Fame. And there was that store there, and they had a sign in the store, and that was the inspiration for this song. You'll get what the sign said in a few minutes. You got your Green Bay Packers, your Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears. They ain't going to the Super Bowl, and I don't really care. 'Cause there's other teams, there's other sports, and they go by many names. But to me, in the land of the free, there's only one American game. And I don't need to see those pearly gates. Don't need no angel halos glowing. But they better have some baseball up in heaven, I'm not going. My daddy took me to Comiskey Park. Don't recall the date. Yankees were in town that day. They had Mantle at the plate. Swung hard from the left side, even harder from the right. Mickey had 2 homers on a double-header night. And up at Wrigley Field, wins weren't easy, I must admit. But I got to see Stan Musial get his 3,000th hit. He was Stan the man, and he played for those dreaded Cards. Cost the Cubs a game that day, but man, they still played hard. Oh, I didn't need to see those pearly gates. Didn't need no angel halos glowing. But they better have some baseball up in heaven, or I'm not going. My friends and I would gather down at that local park. Started there each morning, played till it got dark. It was summertime and hot. Grass was green and fine. We stayed there all day long till Mom called for supper time. And back in those good old days, you know there were no lights. 'Cause if there were, we'd still be there, playing through the night. Oh, we didn't need to see those pearly gates. Didn't need no angel halos glowing. Better be some baseball up in heaven, or none of us were going. Now, since I wrote that song, there's been some changes in my life. Lost some loved ones like most folks do. Found me a second wife. And a lot of things have happened that I never thought I'd see while I was alive. Like the White Sox winning the World Series in 2005. And I lived through almost all of a 108-year-long dry spell. But in 2016, those Cubs, they made it freeze down in hell. So I'm ready to see those pearly gates. And I'll even put up with those angel halos glowing. But they better have some baseball up there in heaven, or there's no point in me even going.
Good one.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
I'm muted.
Now you're not.
Am I? No, I'm not. Huh.
No, you're not.
Okay, good. So, your songs bring up an interesting area, and that is small town versus the world, really. And you're coming up, and even the Cubs versus the national franchise and whatnot. The online seems to be a kind of a new genre, a new area for this, because it can be, you don't have to leave the privacy of your living room,
Right.
or your music room or whatever, but you're open to folks through this channel anyway, throughout the U.S. How's that feel when you're right now? Do you do this a lot, or when did you start going online for playing?
There's the open mic that we host, which is an in-person open mic. Although we do, if there are 5 Sundays in a month, we do a virtual song share like this on Zoom. We have another one in Woodstock, Illinois, where they made Groundhog Day, the film Groundhog Day.
Yes.
They have every Saturday night. It's offsquaremusic.org. So there's that one that we attend also.
Right.
But we have also discovered a couple other, the Yosemite Songwriters group
Right.
in California.
One with the Philadelphia Folk Society. We've done a couple of times.
So we found a number of places to kind of.
When the
branch
pandemic
out.
hit, there was a coffee shop in Burlington, Wisconsin that Zoom. They tried Zooming and didn't really work. So what they ended up doing is had people send in videos every week. That was fun to do too.
Yeah. But yeah, so we do live ones and we do these too, which is really nice because we get to hear people, the ones we go to hear the same people every week. This is really nice to see people from all over the country.
Right.
Yeah, I have that too. It is a different space, and the relationship between local and global is very different than it was in the 70s or the 60s, and
Right.
in an interesting way. I don't know, to some extent, I think the labels and are being lessened. Their importance seem to be being lessened in one way or another. There certainly is an odd change that is coming in with the number of groups that really get distributed and heard on a national stage. Yet there are a lot of these small web sites like and streaming that like we're doing here, that does open up to a different type of communication and sharing.
Right.
I think.
And the thing too is that there's so many small venues that, like the Lake County Folk Club, like the Off Square Music, like this, where I want to say where real music is happening, not the stuff that you see on the Grammys tonight.
Not the ultra produced.
Yeah, not the ultra produced stuff, the stuff that's just comes from the heart.
Yeah, the ultra produced, I don't know, it may be my age, but it seems like there's more percentage of the music that you hear nationally has that ultra production, yet there are fewer groups producing them and getting the
Right.
airplay and sales on that.
Yeah, the whole industry has really changed in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to streaming. Yeah.
We still
So,
make CDs, so.
Yeah, we still make CDs, right?
well, there you go. The yeah, and going back, I mean, it's almost an inversion. In the early 20th century, you have Ledbetter and others going around with a single recorder, going house to house recording people, and now we're going house to straight to the streaming.
Right.
And out. So it's like an inversion of the early 20th century approach. And maybe it's better this way as they're more represented, right?
No, we appreciate the opportunity to play. We feel
Danny,
like
we like to play.
this is the roots.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The roots of singer-songwriter music. So, thank you.
Yeah, I think so too. Very nice hearing you, and thanks. And I look forward to hearing you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be back.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, for the first time on our stage, you made yourselves a real welcome. Very well written, very well performed. Great. Just a great set. Thank you so much. Look forward to hearing you again. All right, our next performer is going to be Chris Steele. Now, Chris is in Newton, Upper Falls, Massachusetts, right? And Chris, you like to hang out at the open mic at the Brewer's Tap and Table in Waltham, and that happens on Thursdays at 8 p.m.
That is correct. We've been really fortunate to have a really good musical community around here. Whole variety of open mics. So actually, both of the songs I'm going to play for you tonight have actually made their appearance at those open mics. Here's a song called "In the End." This is just kind of a little bit of a moody, just to go for a little bit of some of the gray weather we've had here. So. Don't you know that I am sleeping? She said. The morning sun is in your eyes, and light shines through, and there I find surprise. Don't you know the day is wasting? He said. I know I said I'd never go, but still I find you seem to know instead. But in the end, come alone and leave alone my friend. So let's pretend that what's been lost we'll find again in the end, my friend. Stay close to me, I'm drowning, she said. I know I've seen that face before, and look at someone else, I saw it then. Can't you see it's over? They said it's just a dream of fading to like a springtime winter afternoon. But in the end, come alone and leave alone my friend. So let's pretend that what's been lost we'll find again in the end, my friend. Because the mindless eye forever distant, always lost in just this instant. Can't be lost, they've never known. The different loves will never show. On a map that charts their lives, for all too soon the end arrives.
Can't you see I'm weeping? She said, the setting sun will leave the sky. Darkness comes and then I'll fly away. Fly away. But in the end, we'll come alone and leave alone, my friend. So let's pretend that what's been lost we'll find again in the end, my friend.
Oh yeah.
Nice guitar.
Thank you very much. Now, to kind of go back to what Tim was doing a second ago here, I'm going to go ahead and do a song that's a little bit more about like where I grew up. So just forgive me for a second because this is New Jersey, but where I grew up. But this is a little song about a daydream kind of by the side of the Hackensack River, and this is off an EP that I put out a couple of years ago. This is a song called Clouds.
Time flows in ribbons, it frees as it flows. The threads as it falls to the floor, and all is forgiven beyond all we know. By the time we walk through the door, there once was a dream that I had by a stream, that the stream was calling my name. Too much to believe, and to think all we've seen can never quite be the same. Can you see it like me, that whatever will be, and that's all there is. All that I see. As children we know all that's true can be shown. Regardless our dreams are what's true. So staring at clouds we can still find somehow what's true for me and for you. Remember the time when I needed a friend, over and over and over again. So I look at the clouds in the sky full of blue, mulling all over and hope that it's true. That is, everyone seems to flow through the day. Time moves along and goes drifting away when the distance is great, but the love's still so strong. Don't be afraid, 'cause it won't be so long, not so long. Can you see like me that whatever will be, and that's all there is. And clouds are all that I see. Time flows in rivers, it frees as it flows. It flow, and all is forgiven beyond all we know. By the time we walk through the door.
Thank you very, very much.
Very nice. So, moving from New Jersey to Massachusetts, do you find the local music is changed from one to the other?
Well, it's been a long journey, and this is just, I'll put it this way. I spent the first 20 some odd years of my life in New Jersey, then moved to North Carolina for a couple of years. That definitely made a mark. Then moved to New York, then moved up here about 20 years ago. And just what I do for a living means that I'm on the road constantly, and I've really been enriched and enjoyed the fact that I've really been able to sample the musical community in a variety of places over my life and career.
And has your music changed from each sample as you went? As you went from venue to play?
Well, I have to admit that it's at this point in my life, on the other end of a century here, that it's my own voice has definitely kind of found its own place, and it's definitely there. Does it get influenced by the things that I hear? Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting because as people listen to what I play, they can hear a little bit of the things that I was playing back when I was in Jersey. They can hear a little bit of some folk stuff that I've definitely been influenced by. I was down in North Carolina, and I spent a lot of time in basically in the prairies in Canada. So there's a bit of Western Canada that comes into what I end up playing as well.
That's really nice. Has it been acoustic music that you've been playing throughout?
Not throughout. This is acoustic is basically how I get to bring my songs when it's just me and playing. A lot of what I end up recording ends up being a lot more electric and a little bit more rock, but still they are very easily distinguished as the same song, just with a slightly different taste.
All right, you can adapt it then to
a little bit.
That sounds. Yeah, the acoustic and electric is a easy one that I think the generations since the '60s have been able to step back and forth in.
Absolutely, and a good song is going to work well if it's just a voice and guitar, an acoustic guitar. From there, you can work with the orchestration and the arrangement past that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it clarifies for you when you go back and forth what the song is.
Absolutely.
And what gets left behind if you reorchestrate. Interesting. Hey, thanks a lot, Chris. We're going to keep moving here, but
absolutely.
Thank you. Loved your songs there.
Thanks very much.
Indeed, and the hits just keep coming. Andy Karn is our next performer, and Andy is down in Mountain View, California. And so, Andy, you like to hang out at the First Unitarian Church of San Jose's open mic. And as I understand, on many of those second Saturday nights of the month, you can be found there.
Yeah, that's right. I've been going there. That's my in-person one that I've been going to regularly. I've been to a couple of other places, but not very often. But I actually have 3 online open mics that I go to during the weekday, which makes it really easy to do. I could never do that with my work schedule if it was in person.
Absolutely, yes, correct. That is one of the open mic online thing that we've been talking about is so exciting for all of us. Many opportunities. In fact, now is your opportunity to share what's in your heart through song tonight.
Okay. All right. So the first one I'm going to do is called called How Bad Do You Want It? And I understand it's not the first song that was written with this title, but I think I have my own take on it. So let's see here. Well, I found myself in Nashville, sitting at a bar. Man on the next stool told me you could be a country star. We'll get you plastic surgery 'cause you're ugly as a goon. You don't need to be a singer, 'cause we'll turn on auto-tune. Get you a Stetson and some boots, and throw them city clothes away. If you just front me 10,000, we can start right away. How bad do you want it? That's what you gotta ask yourself. How bad do you want it? How bad do I want it? Well, you know what? How bad have you got? Well, it was 5 years later. I was shivering in the dark, so I went to cop some fentanyl from that cowboy in the park. The cowboy said, I told you not to come round here no more. I said, I'm pretty sick, Mr. Cowboy, sir. Please won't you let me score? Last time you got me in a beef with Mr. White. Now you gotta do me a favor or get out of my sight. He said, how bad do you want it? Pretty bad. How bad do you want it? How bad do I want it? Well, you know what? How bad have you got? Now I've been out a year, and my parole board thinks I'm clean. And my ugly mug pops up on Country Douchebag magazine. The downloads of my albums have just risen and risen. When my audience found out that I had spent some time in prison. Now I thank the Lord God Jesus Christ for saving my soul. And I thank my urge to kill who gets between me and my goal. How bad do you want it? That's what you gotta ask yourself. How bad do you want it? How bad do I want it? You know what? How bad have you got?
Great.
That made me laugh.
All right, well that was okay. Now I'm going to change gears a bit here and play a honky tonk tune. Let's get in the right key here. Close enough. All right. So yeah, this one's called I'm Just an Old Honky. All right, here we go. You know that I hail from the great white north, where there's a whole lot of cows walking back and forth. We talk like Canadians, except for one sound. Their hay goes up while ours goes down. Up where the beer and the polka bands play. We never liked country music back in the day. We liked rock and roll back home on the range. Then I heard rockabilly and everything changed. Now I ain't muddy waters putting unk in the funk. And I ain't no jazzer like Thelonious Monk. I ain't no folky like Dave Van Ronk. I'm just an old honky playing honky tonk. Now honky's a slur, but it ain't that bad. I'm a big blonde bohunk, so I'm slow to get mad. But before you call me cracker, let me give you a clue. My people fought slavery and the Nazis too. I fell in love with the sweetheart of the rodeo. Taught a flying burrito, and next thing you know, they call country today. I don't play pop and I don't play punk. I'm just an old honky playing honky tonk. I ain't muddy waters putting punk in the funk, and I ain't no jazzer like the loneliest monk. I ain't no folky like Dave Van Ronk. I'm just an old honky playing honky tonk. I'm just an old honky playing honky tonk.
All right.
That was great.
That was fantastic.
Love it.
Fun.
Hey, Andy. I think it's quieted down outside. You're in Mountain View. I'm next door in Sunnyvale, and we have the storms, but I think we're okay now. I've etymology of one of the terms there, and I come from I grew up in the South, so I feel like cracker. Do you know where that came from?
Whip cracker?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know
that's
that
not
until a
us.
couple years ago.
Yeah, I learned it late in life, and I was like, oh.
That's it. Yeah, I had no idea.
Dear.
But yeah, from cowboys cracking the whips down in
Oh,
I guess
cowboys cracking the rips, was it? Had nothing
yeah.
to do with southern plantations.
Not that I know. I
Oh, well,
I
okay.
heard that it came from
Maybe I'm wrong.
cowboys, but yeah, whips may have been misused on many forms of life. That's
That's for sure.
but I had heard that it was as cowboys. There you go. The how long have you been in Mountain View?
Oh, about 10, 15 years, something like that. A
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
You've been doing the open mics around here?
I started at the Red Rock on Castro Street,
Uh-huh.
and I joined the South Bay Folks, which I still attend online, and I also really really enjoyed going to the Poorhouse
Uh-huh.
open mic.
Yeah, Dave Allender and the
Yeah,
folks there.
yeah, all those guys. Yeah, yeah, and that was really a lot of fun. And now that exists online in some form.
Uh-huh.
So I
I
go to
just
that too.
just last night I came across a couple of video recordings of Dave Allender and a couple more, Dave and Tim at the time, back at the
Yeah.
turn of the century in Red Rock, playing some songs there in the open mic.
Yeah, yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah, they're wonderful on that. So, did
and
you say you?
I
Go
should
ahead.
point out. I should also point out that I also have a YouTube channel, so you can look me up.
Oh, good. What is that?
It's
Go ahead and give the
just
URL if you know.
no, it's YouTube/Andy Karn blah blah blah. So just look up Andy Karn. That's
All
go
right.
to YouTube and just look up Andy Karn. That's the easiest way.
All right, all right. We'll do that. And so you're playing in San Jose now with open mics there?
Well, the church is in San Jose, yeah, and that's where there's a lot of open mics just sort of starting up now.
Uh-huh.
They're real hard for me to get to though, because if I get home or even if I'm working until 6 or 7, I mean the open mics have already started. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, I find that too, especially for those in Berkeley.
And it's everything is always from Mountain View. It's always the peak of the commute hour to get to the open mics. They never have them somewhere no one wants to go from here. They're always like everybody's trying to get home, and they are the meanest at 6 p.m. The members are the very meanest at that
Yep.
time.
And perhaps between Mountain View and San Jose also it gets pretty mean. Well, let's hope we can spread the goodwill among the people in the county here to make it easier for us to get to the open mics locally. Enjoyed your music. Thank you, Andy.
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
hope to see you locally here somewhere.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. Once again, just a great set. Thank you so much. Our next performer is going to be Lawrence Campling. Now, Lawrence, you are down in Sacramento, California. Would you be kind and share with us your favorite local and online open mics where you like to hang out, where your fans can find you?
Sure, I'm going to mention the Village Homes Performance Circle because that's what led me to be here this evening. I haven't actually been out playing open mics in recent years very much, but I've started to recently and was introduced to the Village Homes Performance Circle open mic in Davis just recently, and it was there that I met Daphne just a couple of weeks ago and got invited to join the event tonight. So I'd like to give them a plug. It's great because it's not in a bar or a coffee house or anything like that. It's in a community center. Really great turnout, good crowd, and everybody's there to listen, which is really nice. And they have about an hour of open mic spots and then about 45 minutes of a featured act, and it was really excellent. So shout out to them.
Great. Well, right now, all of America and other points around the world have tuned in to hear you. What would you like to share with us today?
Well, the first song is called Panoramas, and unlike folks singing about their hometowns, this is kind of the opposite. This was inspired by memories I had of coming to America in my early 20s and being overawed by the landscapes and the distances and everything, including Chris, Western Canada. I started out in Alberta, and and I traveled on from there and eventually wound up in California. But it's about how our perception of places and landscapes changes over time the more you learn about them. And some of the romanticism of fades as the reality kind of kicks in. So anyway, this is Panoramas. We see the golden prairie rolling by, the endless road, the breathless sky. Nebraska stretches time, pale horizons blur as the day declines. Then climbing higher on the plains, there's thunder and there's lightning, but no rain. We stop to watch the show, clouds igniting over the dark plateau. And where this road ends, we don't know yet, but this panorama speaks. We understand it, it's the language of the land beneath our feet. Now gliding down this mountain pass, turquoise lakes as clear as glass, reflect Sierra snow and reservoirs of stars when the last light goes. But we must venture further out these days to find a landscape still unscathed. America, serene, infinitely bigger than our dreams. And where this road ends, we don't know yet, but this panorama speaks. We understand it, it's the language of the land beneath our feet. And sold, so often won and lost, and I wonder in the end at what cost. Oh, once verdant valley bleached like bone to feed our pools and orange groves, another damned and drowned, a destination now for the jet ski crowd. And where this road ends, we don't know yet, but this panorama speaks. We understand it, it's the language of the land beneath our feet. Where this road ends, we don't know yet, but this panorama speaks. We understand it, it's the language of the land beneath our feet. See the golden prairie rolling by.
Far out, man. Yeah.
I guess the dog likes it too. All right, thanks, folks. So this next song I'm going to play partly because it's in the same tuning. I like to mess around with alternate tunings, and I didn't think I wanted to bore you all with retuning. Happy to talk about the tuning after if anybody's interested. So this is called The Best of the Man, and it's about my father, and I don't think it needs much more introduction than that. Oh, hold on, I'm going to retune it. I guess that's okay. No, I'm sorry. Father will not live to see the cure for this cruel disease. No miracle of science or of faith. Resigned to each indignity, his mind eroding by degrees. Confusion haunts the hollows of his face. He always looked you straight in the eye, always correct in his collar and tie. And although I never saw him that much in myself, now the mirror shows something else. A trace of the best of the man. His chair grows round him like a tree, as if it knows how urgently he's waiting for his big chance to escape. The courtroom dramas fill his head, and he's the one by all condemned, found guilty and abandoned to his fate. He always looked you straight in the eye, always adept at the old DIY. But now he's got too many fences to mend and no more strength to defend. What's left of the best of the man? Seems to soothe him still, conjuring the fields and hills of England and the wind against his face, until he sinks beneath the waves in tangled strands of memory, surrendering to their merciless embrace. He always looked you straight in the eye, always respectable collar and tie. to pay my respects. To the best of the man, best of the man. To the best of that man.
Beautiful. Beautiful song.
Thank you.
Lovely couple of songs, Lawrence. It sounds like you probably have several more lovely songs in your pocket there.
A few.
But let me
Not as many as I'd like to have.
yeah, you know that the kind of a balance between years and songs in your pocket. But let me bite on your suggestion of talking about tunings. What tunings do you like, and how do you choose among them?
Yeah, I keep discovering new ones, and the reason I like to explore them is I think it started in my early 20s when I was struggling to play both sides now.
Uh-huh.
And when you realize that it's an open G, it gets to be so easy to play. And then you can probably tell that my influences, rather than Americana, are obviously from the other side of the ocean. People like John Martin, Nick Drake, Richard Thompson. And so that led me to explore the open tunings. And one of I have quite a few songs in open D, but those are the only two songs that I have in this tuning. And I have all these mnemonics to try to remember what the tunings are. So this is E, G sharp, B, F sharp, B, E. So that means there's a real gap in the middle of these are low,
Yeah.
these are high, and there's this gap in the middle, and it's just a really nice sound. And so then I couldn't tell you what that is. It's probably an E sus 9 or something, I don't know. But I just find that, I like to pick out the melody that I'm singing, and sometimes the melody will just spring from the open tuning as I'm noodling around and finding the shapes.
Yeah, for me, the different tunings come with their own colors. Literally, the synesthetic colors.
Sometimes you'll hear something that that's Dad-Gad, for instance. It'll just leap out at you.
I played with some Indian, South Indian musicians for a while, and they used incense usually when performing on stage. And it seemed to me that the different tunings they had, or the different ragas they had, were like different odors. And each one, if you really learned it, it had something in the air that held while you played.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting
and that can
stuff.
lead you into the melody, and the melody leads you to the lyric, and so on. And that's the
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah.
piecing it all together.
Beautiful, clean playing, and I loved your chording all throughout. Really nice. Thanks
Thank you
for
very much. It's a pleasure.
thanks for
to
joining us. Hear you again sometime. Take care, Lloyd.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
And as I said earlier, the hits just keep coming. I can't wait to find out what's going to happen on the OMA stage next. So our next performer who's going to bring that performance is Sue Schnitzer. Now, Sue, you're down in Prescott, Arizona, and as I understand, you like the local open mic at Picacho Peak Brewing Company, Las Cruces, New Mexico. That takes place on Thursdays.
That's right, because I actually left Prescott last Tuesday morning and came to Las Cruces, and I've been here about 5 days or so, and I made it to open mic last week. I was a little tired, so I don't live in Prescott anymore. and my second song will talk about that. The first one I'm going to play is a song I wrote way back in around 1975. And, I like how it sounds on this guitar. Was walking in a dream, she said, just thinking, listening to the car tires rolling over cement, and I heard the bird on a telephone wire singing to the sky. Just thinking, nothing much, just letting my thoughts wander in and out of my mind, play with my imagination when they stay. Out walking, don't know where I went, she said. Doesn't really matter, I was in a dream anyhow. Walking in a dream. Switch to the instrument I play more often these days. I rarely play guitar. So as I mentioned, I moved from Prescott last Tuesday, and a couple of weeks ago I wrote this song about leaving Prescott, and I played this at my open mic there before I left. I managed to get through without too many tears. I got just enough tears in my eyes to tear up, but not so many that I couldn't read my iPad. It's called What I'll Miss, and it's a relatively new song, and it still is rather emotional for me to play it, so we'll see how it goes. bright in the western sky, blazing orange reflections as day becomes night. I'll miss the mountain air, cool on my skin, the bluest sky I've ever seen, the creek flowing in spring, the place, the people, the feel of home. They'll be in my heart everywhere I go, and I know that anywhere can become home. I'll miss the sting of the wind as it pushes me around. Cowboy hats on the guitar players playing all around town. All the things I'll miss will soon become memories. Over time, they might fade, but they'll always be part of my story. The place, the people, the feel of home. They'll be in my heart everywhere I go, and I know that anywhere can become home. Part of me wants to stay. Part of me says it's time to go. I'll say goodbye, try not to cry, get in my car and go. I'll go. The place, the people, the feel of home. They'll be in my heart everywhere I go, and I know that anywhere can become home.
Oh,
Nice, very nice. Beautiful.
Hi, Sue. So, how are you moving? Do you find that you can move your music into your new house to help make it home?
Well, that's interesting you say that. I'm actually not in a house because I'm doing 4 to 5 week stays in different places. So I'm in an Airbnb.
Ah,
I brought with me my travel ukulele, 3 other ukuleles, and a couple of guitars. And music is very much a part of making where I go home. I picked where I was going based on who had a good open mic or jam scene, or a ukulele club, or both, and good hiking.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And you have travel ukes so that you can take them hiking with you?
Exactly. In fact, I have a YouTube channel, and I do 4 strings and a trail, and I just did a hiking video today.
Oh, excellent,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent. Yeah, I find that moving into a new place, the first thing that I do is get some music playing in
Oh
it
yeah.
to warm it up
Yeah, I set up
for
my
me.
Alexa the first night so I could just have music.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's kind of like painting the place, making it yours in that.
Yeah.
So, are you in a place now you're going to stay for a while? I mean, not in the town that you're in, or
I'll
are you
be in
just
this
traveling?
I'll be in this Airbnb for a month. I might do some camping once in a while, but this is home base, and then from here I'm going up back up to Phoenix to play at the Glendale Folk Festival, and then I'll go down to Tucson for 5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Those are lovely towns. I've been in both of them for a little
Yeah.
while at a
And
time and enjoy them both.
Tucson has a really good folk festival the first weekend of April, and so I like to go to that and volunteer. I volunteer at it even though it's a free festival.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Gives you some uh, additional meaning for being there, I guess.
it does. You
Additional
just get
family,
to
yeah.
know people better, and it's fun to be part of it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's very nice. So, how long have you been playing and writing for a while? You
Oh,
said
I
70s?
started that first song I played, I wrote in 1975. I started writing way back in high school, and I graduated high school in 73. um, and I've just, when I was doing the working thing, I didn't write very much, but I still played just for myself. I never really played music for adults. I mean, I did like when I was in college, and then I did played kids music for about 18 or 20 years.
Uh-huh.
And I did that, what, like 94 through 2012 or what, I don't know. And so I did that for years, and then I just decided about a year ago that I was going to be brave and play adult, play for grown-ups. And I started playing at an open mic in Prescott, which was very supportive, run by a guy named Andrew Deering, who's a musician there, and it's at the Back Alley Wine Bar. And I got comfortable playing, and then I just started playing at a couple of places. And I love playing adult stuff. There's a really good jam here at a coffee shop on Friday mornings. I was there last Friday, just
Uh-huh.
me and the guys.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you and nice to hear your music there.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like you've got a wonderful working relationship and living relationship with your music there. That's lovely. Take care, Sue.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Robert. Another great interview, by the way. All right. And so now our next performer is no stranger to the Open Mic America stage. In fact, Rich is one of those guys that's made himself at home on this stage enough that you'll find him on the engineering team, the interviewing team, the MC team, and the performance team, which means it's your turn to do that. But before I let you take the stage, I just want to
Yes.
say that Rich is in Bainbridge Island, Washington, and he likes to play at the Fletcher Bay Winery open mic on Bainbridge Island, and also the Music Matters Showcase open mic on the internet. If you haven't found that yet, Joseph Isaacs runs a great show. It's always good. He plays locally around the Seattle area in a trio called the Harmony Wombats, and they have some upcoming shows that he can tell you about, and you'll find on his website. Rich, take it away.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here as a performer. I've never been the engineer yet, for obvious reasons. It's much easier to be an interviewer and and the host. And you guys are doing a great job tonight. Yeah, so I'm gonna play a couple of tunes here, but I do perform in a trio called the Harmony Wombats, and we play around town here, mostly Bainbridge Island, Kitsap. Kind of, we played a couple of shows in Seattle, and we've got a big one coming up in March. There's a private fundraising party at a museum down in Tacoma, so that we're looking forward to that. But tonight I'm going to play a couple of tunes I wrote. First one is called "When You're Feeling Blue." When you're feeling blue, the world becomes a darker place. When you fall from grace, not knowing what to do, alone, you try to sing a happy song, but it comes out wrong. Where's the world you knew? Sunny days turn into rain, feeling good turns into pain. Nothing there that heals a broken heart. Countless hours on the phone, texting words to no one home. Where's the love you thought would never stop? All you feel is hurt. Why did it have to be brought on foolishly? Someone without a clue. That love happened like a mystery. Seemed like it was meant to be until the lies caught up to you. Thoughtless words won't break a bone, but they can turn a heart to stone, turn a mighty love into a void. Love is not a game to play, a gift to simply throw away, something treated like a simple toy. When you're feeling blue and you could use a friend, someone to help you mend, someone you can turn to, a soul always there for you, no matter what you do until the very end. Meet me at the show tonight. We can talk until daylight. Transfer all your pain over to me. Let me turn your pain to sun. Let me know you're not alone. Make this just become a memory. When you're feeling blue.
Really nice.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was one that's my most recent one. Wrote about a month ago. And okay, now I'm going to play my second song. I'm going to play is one that I wrote about a year ago. And it's one of those songs that have a bunch of words. It's tough for me because I'm one of those people that just can't remember words until I've got them in front of me. I've got to learn how to write a song with, two verses and a chorus and a repeated verse at the end or something. It's a lot easier to see. But anyway, here we go. This one's called A Mystery to Me. Okay.
I was born just south of Boston in a famous little town. Story about a woman's fury chopped her parents to the ground. Jury foreman said not guilty, but how on earth does life go on? It's just a mystery to me. Well, I never knew my mother, she just couldn't stand the shame. Don't know where on earth my father, he refused to share his name. But I'm sure they'll try to find me if I ever achieve some fame. But they're a mystery to me. Well, my childhood was a blur, moved around from home to home. Never had a stable family, I always felt alone. When the court said you're a man now, I knew that I would roam. But deep inside I didn't know if I could make it on my own. Driving west through Arizona, yeah, I stopped for a little rest. And I met a woman damaged just like me. We discussed our past and present and the loneliness of loss. She was not a mystery to me. And she said, stop those thoughts, yeah, take a look inside. There's no reason you should feel any shame. I can be your wall, and you can be my light. And we can join together and move aside our pain. Many years we've been together, raised a family of our own. There's no way I could have seen my destiny being part of something bigger, full of love and harmony. My world is opened up to me. If there's a moral to this story, it's a simple one but true. Don't let your history and sorrow define you. Even though my path to happiness was impossible to see, my life is finally clear to me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Rich.
Hey.
Bragging about your nice weather up there earlier.
Oh yeah. Listen, we've got to do it when we can do it. It's not perfect, but if we see the sun up here, it's a great day. It's a great day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right now, if I saw the sun, I would be surprised. But
well, yeah, it's a little dark.
We're south, but not west.
Right.
What do you think are the more difficult things about writing personal songs? Both of yours were personal here, and it's its own challenge to balance yourself into doing that. I know.
Well, I hate to pop any balloons here, bubbles, but I wish I could write really personal songs. I mean, the only thing in that song. Well, when you say personal song, do you mean something that happened to me or part of my life? Because the only part of my life that's in those songs is the second song where it says, I was born just south of Boston. And that's true. I was born in a town called Fall River, which references the woman's fury. She chopped her parents to the ground. That was Lizzie Borden. And everything else is just made up. Sorry.
Oh, no.
So it is very... it is very difficult. For by the way, you mentioned it for me to write personal songs. I mean, I've written a couple of comical ones because I really didn't want to move up here to Bainbridge Island. My wife did. And so I have one. I have one called "Another Gray Day," and it's about how dreary the weather is here on Bainbridge Island. So that's a personal song. But other than that, it's just I don't know. I must be the most boring person in the world, or I'm beyond the age of angst and falling in and out of love. I mean, it was much easier, when I was younger, when I was in high school, in college to write songs. Now, what am I going to write about?
Well, of course, with these two songs, they're songs you wrote, and you found something to write about. Yeah. I know Joan Armatrading, people used to, I'd heard someone ask her, how do you do these songs about yourself? And he goes, well, they start maybe about myself, but then they become their own person. And I think that
I think that's very true.
Often with me, I'll do that too. I'll start on something personal, but find that it has an extended life somewhere in the writing.
Yeah, I wonder some of the other writers on tonight. I will get, I think most of us kind of get it. You get, you play the chords, you get kind of a tune, you get a feel for how this song could be, right? And then and so for me, when I'm kind of developing that song, I'm just throwing out lyrics. It's whatever. It could be nonsensical. It's whatever, just to get the melody down. And sometimes I will start a song about something, a topic, that comes from one of those, just kind of ramblings. And more than not, by the time that song's written, by the time the lyrics are written, it has nothing to do with what it started out as, right? So I don't know. It's just,
not all songs carry their breadcrumb trails, I guess.
That's right. Yeah, right. At least for me.
Hey, thanks again. Enjoying your music as always, and I am sure we will meet again here on this wavelength.
We will. Okay, thanks. Appreciate
Take care,
it.
Rich.
All right, you too.
All right, thank you, Rich and Robert. So now, our next performer who's going to be closing out, like really I could say this evening, this afternoon, this morning, because we have no idea where you are in your time of day. Being the internet, this archive's going to be out there hopefully for a few thousand years. But one thing that we can say for sure, our next performer, Bet Padet, is going to close out this special time that we have shared together on Open Mic America. And we're really looking forward to hearing Bet. We're fans. Bet Padet from Raleigh, North Carolina. And Bet, you like to find yourself at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh Coffee House for open mics.
And I have not been there very much over the last few years because of COVID, but I plan to start going back very soon. And there's another song circle that I really enjoy. It's a virtual song circle. The Folk Project up in New Jersey hosts one on Monday evenings, and I join every Monday. It's like become a family. So I'm going to do a co-write with one of the people that I met at the Monday night song circle. But first I wanted to say, this is a dandy guitar that I won in December at the drawing out of the fishbowl that Capo Dave made this, and it arrived on Friday, and I have really enjoyed playing it. It just plays smooth as butter. It's comfortable, it's beautiful, it holds its tune. I'm just saying all this because the person who wins the next one in December, he's going to be a very happy person. So anyhow, this song was actually a poem that Gail Orr gave me. She is a poet from Pennsylvania. And she started this poem about a ferry trip she took to Ocracoke, North Carolina. Ocracoke is a barrier island. There's a strip of barrier islands way off the coast of North Carolina called the Outer Banks. Some of you may have heard it. And the Ocracoke Island is separated from the mainland by the Pamlico Sound. And Gail took a trip to Ocracoke, and this is an experience that she had. It's about how a motorcycle driving songwriting drifter had an impact on a couple of people on that ferry. It's called Ferry to Ocracoke. Across the gentle sound to the island to fish in the sun. I boarded the ferry to Ocracoke to find some peace all alone. My spirit lay still like the glassy surf, what islanders call a slick cam. But below that calm lay murky brine and sluggish shoals of sand. Hungry gulls search the Pamlico, where the sea's neither deep nor rough, till a ferry stirs the water and feeds up just enough. With a guitar on his back like a barnacle and his Harley parked next to my Ford, a drifter was already humming when he reached the boat lounge door. Inside, a young deckhand slumped on brake, lit his first smoke of the day. He was sailing somewhere else in his thoughts, exhaling us tourists away. The other commuters stayed out at the rail, just the deckhand and me in the lounge, where the bikers' tunes were about to break the mood on the Pamlico Sound. The drifter's songs were simple and short, revealing his past line by line of squandered days and friends never thanked, regrets set free in his mind. Hungry gulls search the Pamlico, where the sea's neither deep nor rough, till a ferry stirs the water and feeds up just enough. His voice was gravelly, low and worn, his guitar a bit out of tune. Something touched the deckhand and me in the currents that floated that room. And the two of us became priests of that sea as he sang his confessions that day, with our solemn applause absolving us all of each failure along the way. Something in the sound of those strings, the golden horizon shift, that made our heavy souls that day move on the tidal lift. Too soon the shoreline rose in our view, the crew to their tasks at hand, as we travelers returned to our cars to prepare again for our journeys on land. I'm pretty sure as he anchored the ropes, the deckhand gave him a strum. As I drove south, I clearly could hear that old drifter's Harley hum. Hungry gulls search the Pamlico, where the sea's neither deep nor rough, till a ferry stirs the water and feeds up, it feeds up, it feeds up just enough.
Wow, wonderful.
Beautiful. Very nice.
So that is my youngest guitar. This is my oldest guitar. This was made in 1915. It was one of two that was made by Martin, but it wasn't designed by Martin, so it's not as valuable as a 100-and-some-year-old Martin guitar. But this song is about some land that my husband and I own up in the mountains of North Carolina. We have about 100 acres, and it's wild, it's untamed, it's beautiful, pristine, beautiful land. And the house that we stay at is on a hillside where if you stand in front of the house, it's on a very, very deep slope, and I feel like I'm going to fall off the edge of the earth. But it is such a beautiful, beautiful place, and when I'm there, I feel like I don't want to go home. I can't let go of it, or maybe it can't let go of me, I'm not sure. This is called Dark Mountain. It's dark on this mountain. I'm not sure where I'm heading. There's no moon out tonight. Milky Way spills out the stars. It's dark on this mountain. Feels like falling into space. I don't know what is out there or what's ahead for me to face. It's calm on this mountain. It's quiet and it's still. Yet a gentle breeze blows by, swirling mysteries and mists into the sky. It's quiet on this mountain. Is there a message that is sent in the leaves below that rustle in a whispering stand still? So do I. The restlessness in me longs to leave, yet I cannot seem to go. What holds me to this place I do not know. What keeps me from leaving? Is it knowing or not knowing? How will I learn what's out there if I dare not take a leap? Like a creature of the wild, I am reconciled. Yet even they know when it's time to move along. Time stands still, so do I. The restlessness in me longs to leave, yet I cannot seem to go. What holds me to this place I do not know. I do not know. I do not know.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So beautiful.
So moving.
I bet. Lovely. Both guitars.
Thank you.
And your playing is again. I remember you from previously, and your playing is always wonderful.
Thank you.
A question I have for you is the act of writing, developing a song about a place, describing it, but also asking it questions, and having written that, replaying it, and when you replay it after having written it, being able to work through the questions again in a fresh way. Do you have that experience at all?
So, are you talking about Dark Mountain?
Yes,
Or
for
both?
this.
Okay, for
Well,
Dark
both of them,
Mountain.
but I understand the first one was written. The lyrics were by someone else.
Someone
poems.
else, right? Dark Mountain. I think I will constantly be asking myself these same questions. It is just such a beautiful place, and I don't know if that answers your question.
One reason, one of the questions is why do we write songs? Why not just cover someone else's? And yours are particularly evocative, I believe, and my guess is that they are for you also when you play them.
Very much so. Most of them are very much so. And I know a lot of people say, well, there are enough songs in the world. Why do we need any more? And I think if you ask any songwriter why they write, they probably will tell you, how can I not write? There's just something within us that causes us, it's got to come out. And so that's why I write.
Yeah, I think just because there's a Walmart down the street doesn't mean that we have to buy everything there, or we should buy anything there, especially when we have our own lives and to live.
Right.
And I enjoyed very much both the playing, but also the lyrics of the first song. Also, I loved how the poet brought terms from the place into the lyric itself.
Mm-hmm. Right, very much so. And I've been to Ocracoke many times on that ferry. And so when she asked if I might be interested in writing music for this, it was like, I'm going home. I know exactly everything she's talking about. And so it was a real joy to be able to work with her on this one. There is a phrase in here called slick cam, which is an islander. People who know the Outer Banks know that they speak in this high tide kind of brogue. But I had to call a bunch of friends who live at Ocracoke and ask them exactly what is a slick cam, and is this something that they say quite often, and it is. It's a very, very calm water that is just glassy, and you can see your own reflection in it. It's really, so we had to do a little research in order to put it all together.
And that seems so right. That first of all, you wouldn't simply sing it, that you would look into it and understand it. And the fact that you had been there before probably did a great deal to help you to choose the chords and the melodies and the atmosphere that you create and the stimming that you create.
Well, it's a ferry ride, and so I sort of wanted something that was sort of like you felt like you were on a boat, and the ferry boat ride to Ocracoke is a do, and so I think I accomplished that, putting that to music that sounded like a ferry boat ride.
Yes, that I think you did. And on the second song, the openness of looking into the mountains and the darkness between you and the mountains were also evoked by the chords and the openness of those. Lovely, lovely stuff.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Bet. It's a joy to hear you. Thank you.
Well, my goodness, what a wonderfully special time we've had on this episode of Open Mic America. Let's give a shout out to all of our performers: Rich Stewart, Waddle and Do, Chris Steele, Andy Karn, Lawrence Campling, Sue Schnitzer, Rich Bassler, Bet Padet, and we definitely want to thank everybody out there around the world and in America tuning in to this show. We're glad that you found yourself here. Tell all your friends about us and have them come back next week. And so you want to check our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all of these performers and archives of shows and a bunch of performers that you'll absolutely fall in love with. We definitely want to thank Robert Edgar for interviewing this evening or afternoon, wherever you are. Ron Smith for engineering behind the scenes, even through the challenging times, good work. And Capo Dave Williams, who is always, he's our founder, and he is always back here connecting people and making sure that top performers around the world are invited to be on this stage. You've heard a good sampling of them in this episode, so we're excited once again to have them here. If you like this show, be sure and spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. You can even download and print your own posters from our website and hang them somewhere. Like you can see some in the backgrounds around there. They say Open Mic America. You can get t-shirts like the one Capo Dave is wearing, and there's a couple else. Yep, that's right. Ron Smith, our engineer, has his own too. And so you can check out the virtual open mics that these folks hang around at. You can meet them there and really support your local open mics in the virtual one. We want to keep the world surrounded with music. It's a great way to do it. And so, yeah. So with that, I'm just going to say, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Open Mic America. We will see you next time.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.